Frederick Raymond Thomas. Born on the 17th of March 1943. His parents were Peg and Ray Thomas. He spent the first 2 years of his life in Trudgegwai, then moved to Margate with his grandmother Emily Sainsbury and her husband Di. Life was good for young Fred in Margate, and back in Trudgegwai, his sister Ray and then his brother Gerald were born. He attended school in Margate, but eventually returned to his childhood village of Trudgegwai, aged about 7 years old. Trudgegwai was the perfect place for children to grow up. They would play football all day long and attend the local village school. Fred left Trud School aged 14 and began to enjoy his life as a teenager, usually in the Fountain Inn. There was once a time when Fred was in possession of a six-pack. He even had a full head of hair. The next stage of Fred's life involved his beloved Petal Dawn. They married on the 8th of October 1966. In 1967, Russell was born, and a few years later along came Tracy. They lived in Fred's childhood home of number 44 Trudgegwai. Fred could fix anything, and this served him well in his chosen career as a factory fitter. He worked at the Nut and Bolt, Newport Forge, the NCB, the Crown Cork, English Grains and Tenneco, to name but a few. Fred had a lifelong connection with the Fountain Inn. He drank there were times when he worked there, and mainly he was the resident DJ there. He could be found below the buffalo horns, playing his favourite hits to get the party started. Some of his favourites were the Birdie song, Superman and Agadoo. If he wasn't playing his records, he would still make sure that everybody had a good time by doing a star tune with his wife Dawn. He could always get the party started. Any opportunity for fancy dress, and Fred was there. He had a costume for everything. One of his favourite characters to play was Blakey from On the Buses, and he would actually go on the buses and tell the other drivers when they had to return to work. He loved a carnival, and he just loved any occasion to celebrate. The farm was the home of the Royal Order of the Buffalo, and Fred was the proud chairperson. Sadly, the farm closed in the year 2000. But instead, Fred decided to build a bar in his own garden. In honour of our Australian family, it was named the Outback Oz Bar, and I was made to paint an Ayers Rock as the backdrop. In the Oz Bar, the good times continued, in the garden and even in Fred's own living room. Basically, wherever Fred was, that's where the party was. When the council decided that they wanted to demolish Trydregwai, Fred played a vital part in saving the village. If it wasn't for Fred and the other residents, Trydregwai wouldn't be the village that we know it as today. And finally, Fred, Ray and Gerald were reunited and living once again in Trydregwai. The next chapter of Fred's life brought great sadness. He lost his beloved Dawn, but was helped through with the love of his granddaughters Chloe and Amelia. Not forgetting his furry granddaughter Maggie. His family kept him busy and were determined that he wasn't going to lose his lust for life or his amazing sense of humour. Sadly, Fred left us on Tuesday, the 20th of July, 2021. But the memories of the good times and the laughter that he left us with will be cherished by all who knew him and will forever live on in the village of Trydregwai and in our hearts.